Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. We know that we have more that are going to join, and so I'm very excited. I'm going to go ahead and start by introducing myself. I am Kaki Cooper. I'm a traditional naturopath, a certified holistic health practitioner, a registered nurse, and a certified nutritional consultant. I got into LifeWave because of my children. So my heart, that's my children. And I started looking into LifeWave, which is how I met Tracy. And I had so many questions. So doing this Q&A today is perfect because right up my alley, I wanted to ask all the nerdy questions, all the science questions, all the things that go along with it. And Tracy was so wonderful in explaining and taking time. It took me a long time to decide to do LifeWave. So if this is new to you, if you're just learning about it, it's completely okay. That's why we're doing this. We want you to ask the questions. We are recording this so that we can share it with others who may have some of the same questions that you have or who have not been able to make it tonight, because a lot of people have said they wanted to come and some of the schedules have conflicted. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tracy introduce herself, and then we'll let Alyssa introduce herself.
All right, I'm Tracy Warren, and I was introduced to this by Sherry Huba, who is on the call right now with us tonight. So thank you, Sherry. And the other thing is that I
You're
was
so
skeptical.
welcome. You're so welcome.
So the other thing is that I was initially skeptical, and that's okay. I was wondering what this was and what's going on. So the other thing is that I also was having a health crisis, and without going into all of that, because I really want to focus on the question and answer period that we've got here, but it was a very significant health crisis. So the thing with that is I started patching and I had huge results, like life-changing results. I started sharing it with different people. One of those people were Kaki, and Kaki and I were chatting. And actually, Kaki, it wasn't a long time. It might have felt like it because you had a lot of questions. But you know what backed me? I had done some research, but the other thing was that it worked for me. So I was going on my testimony, but she was asking me because Kaki is a naturopath, right? So I didn't know that initially when we first started talking. She's so humble, but not she has a medical background and she's a naturopath. And the thing was, her questions were so good, so deep, so deep. And that was good. I was answering her. And if I didn't know, I went right to the clinical studies. So there's a ton of information in clinical studies. This is all backed. It's a 21-year-old company. So I introduced it to Kaki. Kaki introduced it to multiple people, including Alyssa. So Alyssa, I'm going to let you take over.
Hi, my name's Alyssa. I did learn about LifeWave from Kaki. I have a bachelor's in molecular biology. I'm a board certified holistic health practitioner, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, functional nutrition coach, and dietary supplement specialist. And like Kaki, well, I think all of us here, we have some sort of personal connection with a health journey, whether it's ours or our children's. For me, it was becoming a mom and then having a child with Down syndrome who needed open heart surgery that really drove me into learning more about like natural health options and how can I not just like avoid death and disease, but like how can I really optimize my family's health? Like that wasn't I couldn't find that anywhere, so I was on a search for that. And anyway, long story short, I was able to connect with Kaki through that journey. And then as she started learning about LifeWave from Tracy, she was basically, I was kind of tagging along. Like she was sharing with me what she was learning from Tracy. And then she joined. And then it was like another 6 months of me like really doing my own. And now it was just like re on repeat. And I think I was probably doing the same thing to Kaki and just asking those questions. And so that's one of the things I'm really excited about tonight is to just answer questions. Nothing is off limits. One of my passions is giving people a hope for healing. And I think that happens naturally because God created our bodies to heal themselves naturally. The intelligence is innate. It's when you cut your finger, you don't have to tell it what to do. Like your body knows how to do that. And so if we just give it the right environment and the right tools, um, our bodies know what to do. So excited to meet with you guys tonight.
I love it. I just love how this company has brought us together in a great way and how we are all uplifting for each other and to each other and edifying to each other. And I'm thankful for all of you here.
That
So
builds health too, you know?
it does. It does.
Mhm.
Community builds health, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It does. Even if we're spanning the continent.
Exactly.
So I want to get started by we thanked all of you for being here. I'm very excited. Thank you for people who are coming in. And I'm excited to see some familiar names and faces. So literally jump in. If anyone has a question, maybe raise your hand. We can unmute you or just pop in and pop your voice in. We're completely ready to just go free with it. Usually we do like a lot of teaching things, but this time we wanted to leave it open for everybody to ask questions, and then we can go with the teaching from there. So the main product is X39, and we do love it. This is the main one that we discuss and we talk about, but there are other ones that support it and come in with it. This is called a sleeve, just to let you know. So a sleeve is just a packet. It's just an envelope, and then the patches are inside of it. I'm not actually going to like touch, but I will show you that I have a patch right here on my chest, because
Me too.
when you touch it, your body actually activates it. Your heat, your light that is within you activates it. So this is where I have my X39 today. This is probably one of my favorite spots. I do this spot, I rotate around a lot, but this is probably one of my favorite spots. I definitely like it over the liver. That's one of the ways that we've talked about people, especially if they're struggling with bowel movements. It's a great place to put there. Glutathione is another one that we like to put over the liver, helps activate some movement there. So we just move it around. I have a guy who gets kidney stones a lot. He slaps that bad boy on the kidney stone, that X39, he swears it's completely changed his life. So that is our go-to product that we really love the most. And then there's tertiary products from there that we would love to hear any of your questions about. So feel free, jump on in. I'll shush it.
I have someone asking a very typical question, and that is, how long do we wear it? So I'm going to answer that. We wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And the answer, another thing about that is that the reason why we don't wear it 24 hours at a time, like 24/7, is because we need a break from it. So there's a lot of energy going through our body. And the other thing is that it's like being in the sun. This is how I equate it. If we were out in the sun is very healthy for us. But if we were in the sun 24/7, it would not do us good, right? We would be exhausted. It would be a little too much sunshine, too much energy. That's why we have night. So this is something where we wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And the inventor, who is David Schmidt, also says you need a break from it. We don't want you to become reliant on it. We want your body to do what it needs to do. And so this is a booster. This is like help. This is to get your body back into regenerating your cells, the cells that are good for you, but not depending on it solely. Do you have anything to add, Jackie or Alyssa, to that?
Go ahead, Alyssa.
I would just add that there's also something that can happen with our body when it's receiving signals from a variety of inputs. This could be sound signals, visual input. It happens to be light absorbed through the skin. Your body will start, it's like listening to your kids say mom all day long. You start to tune them out, right? It just kind of happens automatically. The same thing can happen with our body's sensitivity to the signals that are coming from the light being reflected back onto our skin from the patch. And so we want our body to stay sensitive to the signal. So that's why we do the 12-hour. That's another reason for the 12 hours on and off.
Perfect. So someone asked, like, what are the tertiary of the other patches? So I have some here. So I'm going to go through them quickly. Okay. This is the Aeon patch. And this one helps, and girls, feel free to jump in. This one is kind of the happy patch. So it helps with inflammation. Hello, who has inflammation? Most of us have inflammation, okay? And cortisol. I love this one, okay? I absolutely love it because of that cortisol thing. Not just that, just to throw in a little tidbit of my history with LifeWave, and prior to, I struggle with migraines. and would sometimes have 4 to 6 migraines a week, like intense, debilitating. Since I started X39, I also have found that when I use the Aeon and the Alavida together, and X39 during the day, Aeon and Alavida at night, I don't get migraines. And when I skip, I get a migraine. So I've tried it,
Wow.
I tested it. This is what works for me. So this one, cortisol, all of us T21 mamas, hello, like how much
Yeah.
cortisol can you have? Okay. Alavida is probably my favorite. I said Aeon, but I think Alavida is my favorite. So
Each one she holds up, she'll be like, this one's my favorite.
no.
Yeah.
So what this one does is this one works on actually skin. Like I know that sounds crazy that I love it so much, and I'm not one about like vanity, but I will be honest, it reduced like the wrinkles here within 3 weeks. And my mom is nodding her head. I'm not kidding. I was rubbing my chest one day and I was in the dining room and she was in my kitchen and I was like, this is weird, but I think that my wrinkles on my chest are gone. And she's like, oh my gosh, they are. Like, could not believe it. Could not believe it. But that wasn't even my favorite part of Alavida. That was
What is
just,
this?
yeah, it's the sleep. So it increases your melatonin, really helps me to sleep. It's very calming. I've actually put this on Grayson when we go and get labs drawn for him. I double him up. I put both of these on him and he just sits there and he puts his arm out and he goes, thank you. Like totally different than having to strap him down and hold him down. So love that. Energy enhancer was the very first one that David Schmidt ever invented. Tracy, why don't you talk about energy enhancer real quick?
Well, I'm gonna add that I love that one. That's my favorite recently, but that one it speeds up your metabolism. It actually is really incredible. But I'm gonna let you're on a really great roll, Kaki. And I love the fact that you are a doctor. So we're gonna go with that, right? But my thing is that you guys, I was having that one. I was having hot flashes, and where I live, we couldn't really get them for a while. So I did have some, and I was trying to preserve them. But what I mean is, not run out of them. And so my hot flashes went away, right? Like I'm at hot flash age, right? But my hot flashes were bad, you guys. And so if you know anybody, you might want to, write their name down and let them know about this. But um I started using those and I was like, I don't know if I noticed a difference, I didn't know, but I'm like, hey, my hot flashes, well, I got through that fast. Anyways, I stopped using them unbeknownst to me that they were helping me with my hot flashes. And a few months, I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? They're bad. Like I was going through my vitamin cabinet. I was like racking my brain. I even hired my really good friend at work. And I said, oh, we're going to do this together, that together. Oh, and you're going to deal with my hot flashes. Anyway, without going on and on, she goes, okay. She even noticed this one day. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gone again. What's going on? You know what? It was when I wear those energy enhancers, they help. I don't know if it's like my lymphatic system or what, Kaki, what do you think about that? Because I think it's my lymphatic system and just moving the energy around.
And also it works on your meridians, right? And so
Yeah.
you may be clogged in some areas.
Like chi flow, like
Yeah.
nothing's
Yeah.
stagnant, like which
Yeah.
helps hormones, you're balancing
Yes.
them.
I'm
Yes.
amazing on that. Of course, I wear X39 every single day, you guys. I wear X39 every day. And then we add these other ones, right? So when I'm wearing, so Kaki, I'm just gonna say that one's my favorite right now. But go on, keep going, keep going.
So I love that.
Can I add one thing too? My husband
Yeah.
Al is 61. He still plays hockey like 2 or 3 days a week, and he swears by the energy enhancer. They're like, Huva, what the heck is going on? You're like a rocket. They're like, he wears I don't know where you wear yours, right? But he wears his on his
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah.
White is right, and then the dark one on the other side. But he swears by X39 and his energy patch. He loves the energy patch.
Yeah, I'm wearing them on my chest. I'm wearing them on my wrists as well.
Okay.
Brown on left, white on right, always. And I also sometimes wear them on my ankles, but I find that on the chest and my wrists are my favorite spots.
Cool. That's cool to know. That's
I
awesome.
like it 4 fingers down below the knee, right out on the outside of the knee. That's actually a spot where like in traditional Chinese medicine, even the Chinese military,
Mhm.
hundreds of years ago, they called it the 1 mile marker. And so they would stop walking and they would pull over and like press on those areas to give themselves energy. So I put mine there.
Yeah.
I tend to fall asleep on the road. It's a bad thing. But when we
Wow.
drive very far distances here
Mhm.
where I live. So when I put the energy enhancers there, I can drive and I don't fall asleep. It's
Wow.
amazing. I love it. So safety reasons for sure. Yeah.
I saw Deb had a question, and maybe Kaki, you can just answer that. It's about how does this specifically, the patch, help T21 children or people in general, doesn't have to be children. And, maybe you can very quickly share your first day with Grayson.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we started with X39 and I started slow with him. And that is usually how I kind of recommend for T21 with the X39. I decided to do 6 hours. And usually with my clients, I say, let's start with 6 hours because as we know, our kids are a lot more sensitive. And Grayson is highly sensitive to things. So I did 6 hours and I slowly over time worked him up to 12. So 12 on, 12 off. But 10 minutes after putting it on him, there was like this weird something in his eyes, like clarity. I don't know what it was. But I took a picture because there was something different in his eyes. He crawled up on my lap and he just started kissing all over me. And like he held my face and he just was he's nonverbal, looking at me, trying to tell me like, this is good, mama. Like, this is good, mama. You know, since then, I've stopped counting probably 80 new words that he has had. Now, they're not every day. He doesn't say the same words every day, but like even today, he had 5 or 6. He was watching this thing on YouTube and it was talking about different things and he was repeating back what they were saying. And I was going, and I was talking to Sadie, his sister, about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are things he never, ever would have done, ever. And so that has been life changing for us. He has better bowel movements. Illnesses, Alyssa is going to talk about this as well because her son has T21 too, but it has decreased illnesses. We don't struggle with a lot of what we did have previously, like hospitalizations and things like that, that when we look back and I'm like, I can't really credit anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like we've been on TNI his whole life. So yeah, it has to be things like that.
I want to add to that Kaki, some of our initial conversations were that you have a medical background and then you also have the naturopath, then you went the naturopathic route. And a lot of that was because you were like searching and you are like, I'm going to speak this of you, but like what I know of you is that you are helping a lot of people with a lot of issues. And the thing is that, you said to me, this is what you said to me. You're like, Tracy, I have done everything and searched everywhere. So I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, but the first day you put a patch on him, you're like, I'm going to try patch tomorrow. I said, okay. And then you phoned me that night and you said, he said a word. And I'm like, so what I'm going to say is he said the word too, because I'll never forget this phone call. I'll never forget this. So I never had children that were nonverbal. So sometimes I think that I'd be like I had 4 kids, right? Sometimes they're all talking to me at the same time. So I'm like, somebody stop talking. But your experience is that your son, like you would know if he's saying a word and you're like, Tracy, what is going on? And then it dove you in deeper. And one of the things is you have dove in like very deep, and Alyssa, both of you, and all this stuff was there for you, the support, the clinical studies, because you have patients, clients that you are, you guys feel responsible for giving them good information. And I really respect you guys for that because I've learned along the way with you because I didn't dive in that deeply. I just knew what happened for me. And I was like, wow, like there's something to this. So I'll never forget. I never forget those testimonies when people call, and that one was really remarkable when he said that first word. And now he's singing, and now he's doing all these things. You send me videos of him doing things. You're like, he would never have done this before. So, anyways,
Yeah,
I just wanted to add that.
It's been
Yeah.
fantastic. And Alyssa, you were going to talk about Hunter.
Yeah. So and Sally asked again, like, but how does it specifically help someone with Down syndrome? So if you don't mind, if I can talk about Hunter a little bit and then kind of intro into maybe some more details there. Um, we started using the patches in February. So like a year and a half ago, February, not this past February, like a year and a half ago, February. And I just recently was realizing because my family got sick all at the same time in the last 2 weeks. And that's the first time in 9 months that Hunter has been sick. And for any parent of a child with Down syndrome, I feel like, and y'all will get it, like that's unheard of. At least in my experience with Hunter and his, his struggles, like we were dealing with chronic sinus mucus once every 3 months. And that was like a good gap between the upper respiratory literal crap going on, and doing all the things and trying to figure it all out. And to just realize that, oh my gosh, we've had 9 to maybe 12 months of like really good health, very clear sinuses, very clear airways. He's silent when he sleeps. And just realizing like that's the long-term impact and benefit of wearing X39 almost daily. Almost daily. We're not perfect, but almost daily. And I've had clients ask me, are these a forever thing? And I'm like, without question. Like, without question, these are a priority. I will give up something else in my budget if things get tight again in order to be able to keep these in my son's repertoire and our toolkit of things that we can use. Um, as to how it will help people with Down syndrome specifically, there are some things. We know people with Down syndrome struggle with more oxidative stress. We know that they struggle with more cellular damage because of that. We know that they struggle with even faster aging, rapid aging, because of that. And those are all things that these patches address specifically. So I feel like these are just like supports that are specific to that. In addition, people with Down syndrome can have an imbalance in their copper levels because their body struggles to create the peptide form of copper, which is the usable form. It's the safe form in the body. Instead, what happens with Down syndrome is they have a lot of free copper floating around. And you can picture this like when I say free and peptide form, imagine free copper as like one red Lego. Pardon me. And then imagine the peptide form with 3 more different colored Legos attached. That's the peptide form.
Why
Your
don't I
body
open
needs.
the the thing I made?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, open your
So
screen.
I'm
That's
gonna
perfect.
show this real quick. Keep talking, and then when it pops
Okay.
up, there we go.
So she'll have a visual representation to show you guys, but in a nutshell, the free form is dangerous in the body because it's trying to steal electrons, it creates damage. The peptide form is not only safe, but it's beneficial, and it's what goes around the body and does work. So you can see here the peptide form is, has the 3 little blue circles attached to it. The free copper, just the orange, molecules by themselves are what can go around and cause damage. Um, and so what's really awesome about the X39 patch is that it gives your body essentially the instructions to go create this copper peptide. It's not introducing copper into the system. So we're not adding more copper. We're not increasing the amount of copper in the system. The amount of copper before and after wearing the patch is exactly the same, but the amount of free copper goes down and the amount of copper peptide goes up. So we've very effectively solved a problem in regards to taking the free copper and turning it into the safe usable form that can go help. um we know that this copper peptide alters 3 to 4 thousand different genes and their expression, and it turns them on and off towards healthy versions of cellular health and function, turns off all the inflammatory negative pathways. And so there you want to talk about like a cascade of effects that can happen after that. So that's just one example, I would say, of how these specifically address some of the unique stressors that people with Down syndrome are dealing with. Um, if you guys, I hope that helps answer your question. Feel free to add any clarifying questions if you guys want it.
Let me see. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
we have quite a few more questions.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
Sally
So,
asked, this is the last one. I'm just going to tack it on since we're on the Down syndrome topic. Sally asked, does the patching interfere with any of the TNI protocol? No, that's a simple one. It doesn't.
that's great. So just to reiterate, these patches are phototherapy, okay? They're not something we're putting in, and it's not something that your GI tract has to actually work to break down to process, okay? It is
Right.
it's like going out, getting sun that is activating vitamin D production in your
Yep.
liver, okay?
Mhm.
That is how vitamin D production works in the body. That is how these patches work. So they're bypassing the GI tract, which is amazing for our kids, since our kids struggle with a lot of GI issues. A lot of them have that GI integrity barrier issue. And then you have leaky gut, and then you have a bunch of things passing through. Who knows what you're actually getting? And then it's passing through into the bloodstream. And then our kids have like this leaky blood-brain barrier. So what toxins are going to the brain? I mean, you just never know, right? This eliminates that whole guessing work and that guessing system, which is so wonderful. And so I absolutely love that. We, of course, Alyssa and I use TNI on our boys. We use TNI with our clients. We promote TNI. We absolutely love it. So no, just to reiterate that. Were there any other questions I missed? We talked about Grayson's age. I want to make sure we hit everything.
Molly asked, are any of your kids also doing other things along with the patches, like extra supplements, gluten-free, dairy-free?
Okay. So yeah, we're doing
You go
TNI.
first. Yeah, you go
Alyssa's doing
first.
TNI.
Yeah.
Grayson is gluten-free. He eats from a bottle. He also has a metabolic disorder on top of trisomy 21, and he's the only documented case that's alive in the world that they have found. So
Wow.
he is a very special little boy.
Mhm.
His metabolic disorder definitely puts a kink in a lot of things in our life, but that is part of why he is still on a bottle. He does not have formula. I blend all of his food up. It's a big whole ordeal.
It's real food.
It's
It's
real
real
food.
food.
He eats real food. He has the healthiest diet of anybody I know.
Yeah, he does. His skin is like perfect, like
I know.
glowing, like his
He's the perfect,
complexion is
yeah,
so amazing.
literally the best diet. So for him, I don't put gluten into his, I don't put any of that into him. So he's gluten free. But dairy, we do raw. We do raw dairy. And he does really well on raw dairy. We see no issues whatsoever. He used to have difficulties with dairy when he was on bottle like formula. We had more issues. But now we do raw, and we go to a farm and we get it with A2 cows. So yes.
Your benefits of, I'm just wondering, like, if your benefits of the patch, you were already doing those things before as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like you did it all, made a bunch of different
All at
changes
one
and you're not
time.
sure which one it is. Like,
Thank
so
you.
you are certain what the patch did for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
And another question came about children, and if you're pregnant, can you wear the patch?
Okay, so there are no clinical studies that have been done on women who are pregnant. So that is the company's stance on that. I will say I personally have clients who are pregnant and have used it. And they asked me personally if I was okay with them using it. And I said that I was. I've also known of some people who had a few infertility issues, were using the patches, and were able to get pregnant. Also breastfeeding. I have somebody who was breastfeeding and using the patches. But again, LifeWave doesn't have any clinical studies on people who are in these situations. So just to cover LifeWave's stance on that.
And that's common. That's a legal thing for almost
Absolutely.
every single company
Almost,
that I've ever
yeah,
heard of.
nobody wants to touch kids and pregnant ladies.
No,
Like,
because
Yeah.
who wants to volunteer if something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Who wants to volunteer
Yeah.
that?
Can we talk about the IceWave patches and how amazing those are? So right now in the news, there's a lot of stuff about Tylenol and, the damage and stuff like that. So Jackie and Alyssa, do you want to bring that up and how that's working for your family?
It's specifically Tylenol and glutathione, by the way.
Yeah.
So Tylenol depletes the glutathione in your body by, I have heard 80 to 90%, and then there have been some who have even said up to 98%. So somewhere in that range is what it depletes your glutathione, which your glutathione is your master antioxidant. So that's going to be what goes around and it scavenges and it like fights all of the free radicals or like toxins in your body and pulls those out. Okay. So 1 dose of Tylenol depletes it by that much. So an alternative would be glutathione, would be IceWave for pain. My mom is a great one that I like to bring up when it comes to IceWave because she does struggle with a lot of pain. She has severe scoliosis, a lot of back issues, just a lot of pain. I won't go into too much of her medical, but this is what sold my mom right here. And she can put it on, and I'm telling you, then she can function where before you see her and like she's kind of hobbling and it's hard to get through it. She's not a quitter, she's a go getter. And when she puts these on, it's like it gives her that oomph to be able to keep going. And she's like, oh, I forgot I was in pain and hurting. So really promote those. Also for migraines, when we were at the LifeWave convention last year, we all had just flown in or driven in and we all started getting migraines. It was bad. And Tracy's pulling out her
like from her purse, like here you
aisle.
go. And it was like, thank you. Thank you so much.
And we all have back here and all of us, our headaches went away.
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love that we, don't have to, we don't keep pain meds here, So
Yeah.
that's what we use. And then glutathione, just what we have been discussing right before that. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. When people do struggle with, like I said, constipation, this is a great one for our kids to put over the liver. Your liver is found on the right side of your body, below your rib cage, and part of it's kind of tucked into your rib cage, and then it kind of goes around the side of your body towards your back. So LifeWave comes with little places where you can put the patches, and you can follow the booklet and it can tell you where to put it, but also you can stick it other places. Someone was asking where you put the patches, and I did explain in there that for Grayson, he would not let me put them anywhere. We did struggle with that. So we put it behind his back in between his shoulder blades so he couldn't rip them off. And then I just would distract him. So patch, distract. And we did that for a long time.
And it's effective there. Even though that may not be like what's in the booklet, it's still effective.
It is very effective. So I love that. It boosts your glutathione by 300% in a 24-hour span. If you take oral glutathione and you have leaky gut, you might get 15%. Might.
So you're saving money.
Yeah. If you don't have glutathione, if you don't have leaky gut, which who are you? Then
seriously, I've not met it. I've never seen it on the test.
Then it might boost it by 30%. An oral glutathione.
Like best case scenario, 30% is what you're absorbing.
We're going to go with 300% in a 24 hours. So that's what we're going to do. Carnosine, this one is amazing. Do you have anything else to say about glutathione, Alyssa?
I feel like you covered it. Just great for detox, great for illness, great for any medication exposure. Because, like, let's be real, like, my kids have broken bones, So, I mean, we use Tylenol in the first 3 days of that or so to keep them comfortable. Patching them with glutathione is so, it just helps to cover your bases with that. So, yeah, definitely love. I think you covered it well.
So Carnosine is another one. This is amazing for vision. brain function.
All
Um,
think
anyone over 60, you start losing carnosine. Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
sorry, I didn't raise my hand. I was so sorry. Or think organs, organ function. The clinical study on this one shows basically all organ systems function are improved. So yeah, eyes, brain, adrenals, energy production, heart, like it just elevates everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with Parkinson's, people with like neurological disorders. Although we're not supposed to name things, I push the carnosine at that point. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
SP6, somebody had asked about weight loss. This is the one that helps with the endocrine system. Okay. So our endocrine system is also going to like go into your hormones. But we won't get too much endocrine, but this was the one that we suggest even for blood sugar regulation. And they even have like a tummy tuck patch placement that I've seen. And it's definitely helped with that. So the SP6 would be the one for weight. And then they have certain places that you could put it for that. I also suggest people go to YouTube. I'm telling you, YouTube those things. And that's how I just YouTubed everything. I did.
I have to say, I have to add to that that I didn't know what I was doing in the very beginning. I just needed to stick the patch on, right? But then the curiosity of like, what is this doing? So I remember at bedtime, I would go to bed, and worst time to be on your phone, but I would scroll and I would start going, okay, one of the key things I would write onto my package what it did so I could stop doing that. But learning about, even if you take 10 minutes a day and learning about what these actually are doing for you, it is incredible. And I'm saving so much money. I'm sure all of you are as well. I'm saving so much money, like using less vitamins, less everything like that, because I'm repairing my body from the inside out. So my kidney function has improved, and I only have one kidney. So I was educated to tell, and being told basically that my kidney function would start lowering because I only have one kidney. And you know what's happening? It's like they're like,
Improving.
what? Yeah, it's incredible. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, keep
Deb,
going. What else have you got?
Silent
hey,
Night.
Yes.
oh
This
yes,
is
this is the one.
this is Grayson's favorite. Okay. So at night, I've said he hates me to put the patches on him, but at night he asks for this one. So we have it
Yeah.
right over here. And what I do is I put his chapstick on at night. We say our prayers. And then I get up and I reach over and I say, "Do you want a patch?" And he goes, "Oh!" I'm telling you, the boy knows the Silent Night patch. And
Wait.
apparently it helps him. So it boosts melatonin. Our kids tend to have low melatonin anyway, which is produced in the gut because a lot of the gut issues. Serotonin comes into play with all of that. Tryptophan is great. But anyway, so I'm telling you, Silent Night loves it. I have many clients who say their children with Down syndrome, they will never, ever go without this. Ever. I will never go without this. He used to flip flop around the bed. And when I put that on, he's just so much more still. And he obviously recognizes that he sleeps well,
Mhm.
you know? And then for some reason, I don't know where my X49 is, but oh, it's under here. X49, this is going to be like cardiac. I think when I see 49, I'm going to think cardiac. I'm also going to think like bone health
Circulation.
and
Yeah.
bone health with women, especially over 40. And then talk about energy. Like this one definitely boosts energy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a ton of people are going to the gym on my team that are using X39 and X49, and they are like, oh my gosh, right? They're building muscle, their recovery time is half, their energy level is like bang on. And so that's a key one. I have someone asking me, they're messaging me personally saying, I have the MTHFR gene mutation, which patches are the best? I'm going to say X39 and the glutathione. What do you think, Kaki?
And yeah, so I do genetic testing all the
Yeah.
time in practice. Yeah.
Genetic tester right here.
Yeah. So, I mean, my brain is going all over the place because
It's hard to choose just one, honestly.
there's
Should we
so-
do one Zoom just on MTHFR? Like,
oh, wow. Yeah. There's
There
a
you
lot
go,
to it.
Khaki.
But there's also
Yeah.
MTR, there's also MTRR, there's MTHFS.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
COMT, there's a lot of gene
I mean,
mutations
yeah,
that
you bring in-
influence the methylation
Yeah.
cycle.
You bring in COMT, and then if it's slow or fast, like that just changes everything.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say X39 for everybody. 100% they
Mhm.
need it.
Mhm.
They need it. I'm not claiming that it's going to correct mutations. Okay.
Right. No, 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 no. No,
Right.
but the benefits
Yes.
of, without going into too much detail on this Zoom, the benefits
MTHF,
for
sorry, so it'd be X39, and then I would also, you're right, I would do glutathione.
Mhm. Okay.
And then, you know what? I don't know, Alyssa, help me with your thoughts, because all of a sudden Alavida came to me because of the use in organs, as well, like and carnosine too. Wow, I know there's just a lot there.
That's
So,
it. It's like once you start to pull the thread, like you see kind of how they're all connected, and we can get strategic
yeah,
with all of them. And that's where I just always encourage people to kind of like, let's think about like your top 3 concerns. And then from there, we can, it's easier to kind of figure out,
Mm.
do you want to buy all of them? Which is what I did.
what I
Or do you want to choose just a few to start?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And
And
generally,
X39 is always the start place.
It's
Always.
it's an
Always.
anchor. That's our anchor
is.
leg.
Yeah.
Gotta have the X39 for sure.
Well, because
Mhm.
glutathione, you're
Okay.
not going to wear every day. We don't need to boost, we don't boost 300% every day. Some people might need it to like if they're highly toxic,
Mhm.
and they might need that every day. But let's make sure they're like flushing it out, using a lot of electrolytes, and like really,
Mhm.
we're doing a massive detox on those people, and they're usually under some type of practitioner care.
So that rolls
Mhm.
into Deb's question. She asked, is the recommendation to wear only one specific patch at a time? Do you want to
It's a
roll
good
with that? Because
question.
I feel like what you were saying.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
we always say X39, 3 to 4 weeks on its own. Okay. That's how you start. You start with X39 on its own. Let's just say 1 month to make it easy. And then after that, you can slowly begin to introduce other patches. I kind of did one at a time just because I think in the T21 world, that's how we're used to doing things, is one at a time. But then I went to David Schmidt has said you can use Aeon with it, with X39, and he's good with that. And then IceWave, if you're in pain, don't wait a month to take care of your pain. Take care of your pain right away. Okay. Those are okay. Those are like kind of the different ones.
Kind of start up front, like all to kind of more at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely
And that's
not.
a really good kit. That's a good
Yeah.
kit, is to start with the core kit, and it gets you 2 months worth of X39 and one Aeon and one IceWave. And you're
Yep.
kind of covering all your bases, you know. And having that IceWave, you might not use it all, but over a course of time, like if a headache comes along, you just stick one here and one here, and you're like, what did I just do? Like, it's incredible. So yeah, that's good. Okay.
I don't ever suggest glutathione for at least a month, because glutathione is actually boosted from the X39. You boost it by 30%. So you're going to be detoxing with X39 anyway. So we don't want to jump in on glutathione and slam you with even more detoxing. Okay. So glutathione, and then would be like after a month. Yes. And then I think Casey has a question too.
But all of this is to say that's just how to get started. Once the ball's rolling, you can wear more than one patch at a time. You can mix and match really almost endless combinations, just as long as what we would recommend is X39 daily. Then you can kind of alternate Aeon one day, Carnosine the next day, Glutathione the next day. And then, you can kind of go from there. But yeah, you can wear more than one type of a patch at a time.
Sure. Casey, I'm sorry I didn't answer that, so thank you.
No, you're
Did
good.
you have a question? Oh, let me
wait. Unmute yourself. There we go.
There we go. So my question was, do we see a lot of Perks reaction from X39?
I did.
I was gonna say.
I didn't hear the full question. Sorry.
Do we see herxing reaction?
Detox reaction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yes, I did. I think I'm one of the only ones here that have, and I have a pretty clean life. You know what I mean? So I was shocked. I kind of expected it though, but you know, and I do have some other friends who have as well. So for me personally, I put it on and I felt like there was a fire inside of me. Like I began sweating, like
Okay.
sweating. And I was like, whew. So for 15 minutes, I sweat. And I was like, okay, wow, all right, okay. And then for 2 weeks, I felt like I couldn't keep my eyes open. But I'm also go, 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 go all the time. I also struggle with sleep. And I think, so what happens is our bodies, we need healing when we sleep, right? And that's a huge issue for me is sleep. So my body was not able to heal. When X39 came into play, I was able to heal. It made me slow down. It made me stop. It made me rest. And so thank God for my teenage daughter who was like, Mama, go take a nap. I've got baby, you know, like, so I napped like every day for 2 weeks. I had to. I could not keep my eyes open. Other people don't. Like everybody is different. And so I can't tell you what it's going to be for yours, but I love Alyssa's story. So I'm going to let Alyssa tell her story.
Mine was kind of the opposite. Within 4 hours, I had actually was just getting over like the worst stomach bug I've had in my adult life. And I'd been throwing up for like 2.5 days, hadn't eaten anything, went and picked my kids up from school. Well, actually, first I slapped the X39 as soon as I got it in the mail around noon. I put the patch on, took a nap, forgot that I was wearing the patch, woke up, went to pick my kids up from school. Still haven't eaten anything. Get in the door from like, getting the kids, and I'm like, all right, time for a 30-minute pickup. Let's clean up the house. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening right now? Who am I? I'm wanting to clean. And it was just like the clouds parted and what needed to get done. I was like, oh, well, we can do that. And it just, for me, it was immediate shifts in mental clarity, energy, things that I didn't really at the time, I wouldn't have clocked that I was struggling with, if that makes sense. I just viewed it as kind of like a moral failure that I couldn't get my stuff together. Like I'm just not disciplined enough, or no, it was biology. And so for me, that's how the patch was. And for Hunter, my son with Down syndrome, I think I put it on him for 6 hours the first day. And after that, we were straight to 12 hours. And what I have found is that if a person tends to be sensitive with new supplements, dietary changes, things like that, it's a safe bet that you should go a little slower with introducing the patches as well. Whereas if they're a little bit more robust, you can introduce new supplements more quickly, things like that. I've seen that my clients and customers and in my own family tend to, be able to kind of get to that full speed, like full 12-hour duration a little bit faster. So let your body be your guide.
I will say, like this on the reverse side of that, Casey, is that I have had many clients who have messaged me and said, hey, I need to stop my X39, like either finances or I don't know if it's doing anything. Like I haven't noticed anything. And so I never pressure anybody. I do not believe in pressuring people. And so I just let them know I'm here to support you. I want you to watch your body when you quit. And I want you to start noting if there's a change in your body. And inevitably they come back and they're like, okay, I can't get out of bed. I need a 4 o'clock nap.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping anymore. My body is aching. Like I didn't even realize that it was actually helping me until I stopped taking it. And I'm like, okay, let's get you back on it again, you know? And so that's why I don't think I should ever pressure anybody. I believe it's your body. You know your body. You're going to know what it's doing for you and what it's not doing for you. But they do come back. They come back, and like even people, my godmother has had some weird things, and she's been to multiple doctors. They couldn't figure it out. Even when she was telling me, I was like, you know what? I don't know what that is. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what it is.
Sorry,
And
guys. I'm trying.
and so I said, but you know what? Let's try this. And she said, since X39, she's been on it, I think like almost a year. She said, about a month ago, she said, guess what? I no longer have that issue. I said, you are kidding. And she said, no, no longer. The doctors never could figure out what it was. Nobody ever knew what it was, but I no longer have it. And she said, I've tried everything, and it was just the X39. So for reasons like that, we'll never stop using it. You know, for my migraines, just that in itself, I'll never stop using it. For Grayson's speech, we'll never stop using it. For Sadie's heart and Sadie's eyes, we'll never stop using it. Yeah. So
Eyes.
I know both of our eyes, mine and Alyssa's eyes have corrected, have gotten better. My daughter's eyes have gotten better. So we could ramble on and on forever.
I know. You made me so excited when you mentioned the eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, I just had my eye appointment last week. So this is very new for me. Again, been on the patches for about a year and a half. And I have a pretty strong prescription, very nearsighted, and my prescription has stayed the same for the past 10 years or more. Hasn't gotten worse. I'm nearing 40. Totally expect for it to be getting worse. You know, I'm walking in, they're giving me the whole like, you know, speech about what to expect, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't, whatever. Okay. My vision has improved. My
Wait, what?
prescription went down in severity in both eyes, and my astigmatism got better too, which that's like I've never heard of that. You know, like, so and I've seen testimonials on that, and I was probably secretly praying like, Lord, please let me be that person, because like big
this just
clunky glasses are
X39?
hard. It's hard. I'm wearing contacts right now. Like, it's just a whole thing. And so, I mean, I still need glasses. I still need contacts. It's not like I have perfect vision. I'm not saying that, but for the fact that my eyes got better, like not only did they not just staying the same even, but they got better. Like, I don't know anyone else, any other product that's helping people have that sort of outcome.
Casey, what were you asking?
Oh, was that just from X39 that you've wore for a year and
I
a half?
mean, I've worn a variety of all the patches, so I can't say it's only X39, but X39 is like the one patch that I'm wearing almost every day. And based on what we know X39 does, I mean, I would have to say I think that plays a major role in it. But I think overall, just being able to help reduce my inflammation, balance my cortisol, all those things, getting that quality sleep. I kept thinking I was waking up because of like blood sugar issues, and I was chasing all these dietary things and supplement things, and maybe I need more magnesium. And with Alavida and Silent Nights and Aeon, I like to wear Aeon at night. I am like sleeping all night long. I'm not waking up. I'm not having blood sugar issues. I'm not having crashes like that where for consistently before, or I was like, oh, God's waking me up, it's time to pray, which maybe he is, that might be a real thing, but it was happening all the time, like every night. Maybe there's something more going on. I could just never nail down like exactly what the thing was. And so yeah, X39 and the others, I mean, yeah, they've all been very valuable to me.
Yeah.
Molly asks, how long have you been on it? I've been on the patches for about a year and a half. And we wear it 12 hours on and 12 hours off, not 12 days on and 12 days off. 12 hours on and 12 hours off.
I think tomorrow is our 2-year anniversary. I think it's tomorrow. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
That's 2 years for us. Costs. So let's go over costs. We have actually, Tracy, you want to go over the costs of the packages?
Sure, I can do that. So if you want to order just one sleeve, basically the company is basically saying, David Schmidt, the inventor, is saying that you should wear the patches to give it a really good try 1 month per decade that you've been alive. So if you're 40, wear it 4 months, give it a good go. Collagen starts to kick in. That's another added benefit. Like, there's so many things we haven't even shared, but collagen kicks in about month 3, even though you may notice it before that, like Khaki, you know, with the chest, and myself as well with the chest. So to order one sleeve of X39, like there's different ways you can order it. You can be a retail customer. I did not want to do that. I said to Sherry, I want a deal. I want the best price. So the best price was to become a brand partner. But I also looked at her, and I'm not a finger pointer, but I said, I'm not doing the business. Well, my testimony started the business for me on its own. That's another story, another time. But my own testimony, everyone was like, sign me up, sign me up. Like it was pretty incredible. So you can order for $25 one sleeve of X39. It's $99. It's USD. In Canada, you guys, if you're in the United States and you go, oh, I don't know. Sorry, guys, we have to pay 38% more. So suck it up. You guys
so
really
sorry.
get a deal. I'm just
sorry.
going to speak it. You guys get a deal. And you know, we will not go out without it. So we're getting like charged like crazy. And we won't be without it. So that's going to tell you something, right? So $99 and a $25 fee, but most people are doing the smart thing. They're getting in at the core level. The core level is $295 and you get three equivalent to 3X39. But do you remember earlier we were talking about 2X39, one Aeon and one IceWave? That all fits into that $295 core kit. So then it's
Or
mhm.
a lot of mine will do like one X39 because you get it every month.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, so one X39 and then they'll get like an IceWave, Aeon, Alavida, and then you can even get like a Carnosine. So you can get all
Right.
of that for the $295.
Yes. And then it's $295, but you don't have to pay $295 a month. Then you can go down to, you know, getting one IceWave or one X39. Like we will work with you. Like whoever invited you onto this call is going to work with you and help you. I was a single mom for a long time. I know that, and even if I wasn't, I like a good deal. Most people do. Most people love a good deal. So we know how to order it and work the back office in such a way that you get the best deal. So the best deal would be getting in one of the kits, core kit. They waive the $25 fee, so that's perfect. And then you're getting in actually as a brand partner. If you choose that you want to do this, like this has supplemented all of our incomes. Right before the Zoom started, Kaki was mentioning like this is incredible. Like, you know, we wouldn't be passionate about it if it didn't work and if we didn't have the testimonies coming in, right? So it's $295, get in, get your foot in the door, and we help you with your patches, what you want to order, and set you up. It gets mailed right to your door. It's perfect. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. I don't know anyone that's used it, but it's there for you. The company stands behind it. They have all the patents and everything. And then you go on auto ship. Auto ship is key. Then that way you can go on for as many months as you decide. For me, when I ordered with Sherry, I'm like, I got in on the largest kit that I could get. I just jumped in and I had a health crisis going on and I jumped in and I thought to myself, this is my thinking, this is my gift to me. And that's what I did. And thank God I did that. None of us would be here today, like even on this Zoom, you know? So yeah, right there. So right there is the core kit. And that's what I got in on. And then I just do monthly auto ship and it turned into a business for me, but I don't even feel like this is work. Like I just get credits when people order and it's perfect. So anyone needing any help or if you want to even get your product paid for, we know how to do that. We know how to help you with that. So yeah, go from there. Anything else, Kaki?
No, if you can see my screen, I'll just click and kind of show people. So we go to the enrollment. You can get the 3X39 or we can change it here and we can go over here and we can add, say you liked the energy enhancer and you want the IceWave and you want the glutathione. And the Aeon. So this little bar is telling us, okay, we're good. We're at that spot. And this is everything that you get for the $295, or we can go and do a different kit if we want to do a different kit. So this is the one that actually Alyssa, Sherry, Tracy, and myself, we all did this one because we did see the potential of what it could do. We had done our research. We loved the science behind it. We knew we wanted to do it for our families, and we also knew that we wanted to do it as a business. Like we knew that we wanted to actually get our patches paid for. And that's what's amazing. Like, so that would be the equivalent of 20 X39s. Obviously, we're not going to do all of that. Like we can go down and then you can say, hey, I'm doing it for my whole family. So I want to get enough X39s for my for 3 of us or 4 of us for 2 months. And so that's X39 for 2 months for 4 people. And then we come over here and we just add in everything else that we want. And so we can change it depending on you. Say you want something for endocrine system and you want to do something to help lose weight. Say you want to work on organ systems and you need help with sleep and you also have a few wrinkles, if you're over 40 and you're starting to hit perimenopause and you need help with bone health, we're going to add that in. And if you have a pet who is your baby, you can always add in this for pets. And so that's great. We didn't even touch on that, but there's literally so much, but we also don't want you to get overwhelmed to a point where you shut down. And that's where we're all going to be here to help you. But the main focus is X39, 30 days. You want to wear it. We choose to wear it indefinitely. We won't stop wearing it because of all of the changes that it's done in our lives. So yeah, are there any more questions? Because we've rambled a lot when this was all supposed to be about your questions.
Well, I think you answered a lot. And also there's a form and we can easily just email you the form and you get us the information. We can do all the inputting and the order for you. And that's how 95% of the people that I enroll and help get in is I get the form. They fill it out. So yeah.
Oh, Casey says I may have missed the chat about Aeon for tweet 21.
Okay. Yeah, so I was able to get a message to David Schmidt, who is the inventor. And it was really cool. It went like through Sherry and then up through Gina and Steve Merritt, who we are in their downline. And, they're the top in the world. Then they're just amazing people as well. They're absolutely amazing people. So Gina spoke to David Schmidt and then was able to get this message to him. And I needed to know about the Aeon. I needed to know, okay, because it was a huge deal when we first started. We were telling people don't use Aeon because it increases SOD. And we know that we already have SOD issues with our kids, especially on the 21st chromosome. Since SOD1 is on the 21st chromosome, okay, and that's going to replicate faster in our kids, of course. Anyway, so when we sent this message to him, he actually replied back that the clinical studies, even done outside of LifeWave, show that it does not. So we are okay using it. And we were actually really impressed with that. Alyssa, do you want to jump in on that? I can look for the text.
Yeah. And I'm gonna answer Sally's question about what is SOD. So SOD stands for superoxide dismutase, and it's the name of a gene on the 21st chromosome. And in Down syndrome, where there's 3 copies of the 21st chromosome, that gene gets expressed more often. It gets transcribed more often. Which when they do studies and research on how much SOD expression there is in people with Down syndrome, it's about 50% higher or twice as high in people with Down syndrome as people without Down syndrome. And what that means is it leads to just extra oxidative stress. So we don't want to do anything to increase more SOD1 expression. So it was awesome to be able to get a response. Thank you, Kaki, for tackling that and getting and Sherry and everybody involved and being able to get that response directly from David Schmidt himself. And so at that point, Kaki and I both just started kind of trialing it with our own kiddos here and there. And what I noticed, I was really impressed I was noticing increased stamina. So I live in Florida. It's hot, it's humid, it's hard to be outside, it's hard to breathe. Kiddos with Down syndrome tend to overheat easily. Hunter is like somehow like a sun baby, but also heat intolerant. And I just noticed he started sweating. He was running. He wasn't asking for me to carry him around everywhere. We could go on walks around the neighborhood. Where it really stood out to me is there's some really awesome like nature trails around here where we can go walk the trails and be in kind of the woods and walk on boardwalks above all of the alligators out here. And he was running and running and running and running the whole time and didn't get tired, didn't ask to be done. And it was over a mile. over a mile in the Florida heat, and he was just going, going, going. And that was probably like the fourth time that I put Aeon on him. So we were wearing X39, and we'd been wearing X39 for about 9 months, I think, at that point. It had been quite a while that we'd been using the X39. So Casey asked what time of day I'm using Aeon for Hunter, and it's daytime for him.
So
I do like it during the day.
I decided to patch what David actually said. So I posted it. Did I say patch? But I posted it. So
You did say
first,
patch.
it's so,
You mean
that
copy
is
and
so
paste?
funny. Yeah.
Paste.
Okay. So with respect to Aeon, it's designed to elevate the peptide. So all of these are pretty much designed to elevate certain peptides. Okay. But the phenylacetylglutamine peptide. And so he sent things on that. And what we found during our studies is that the Aeon patch reduced stress on the autonomic nervous system. And as a result, we saw preservation of both glutathione and SOD levels. Preservation. Okay, I'm going to emphasize that. So, okay.
Didn't raise it, didn't decrease.
So this is to say that we do not believe that the Aeon would directly increase SOD levels, but as a function of reducing inflammatory stress on the body, not as much SOD would be utilized. With respect to Alavida, he did talk about that increasing. And then while LifeWave has not performed studies on Alavida patch related to SOD, third-party literature shows that it does in fact elevate SOD. Now that was third party. And there were actually 3 of us practitioners that went in and kind of researched this, Alyssa, myself, and then one other, Dr. Elizabeth, with which some of you know, and all 3 of us patch our children. And all 3 of us are T21 practitioners. And we all kind of came back with, after reading the research, we felt okay, even patching with Alavida occasionally. So hopefully that answers questions.
Jackie, you're doing a you're going to be a guest on the Zoom on Thursday.
Yeah, with Sherry. And
Mhm.
and so thank you, Sherry, for inviting me. I'm super
Whoa.
excited.
Yeah,
And
we're excited.
yeah, and we're going to be, I think Steve and Gina are going to be on it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so we would love you guys to show up. And they're going to talk a lot more on the business side, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
And we are so thankful for that business aspect of this. Like I never expected it, but I am very thankful.
Yeah.
Very thankful that I don't have to worry about paying for the patches
Okay.
because they pretty much pay for themselves, and I'm helping people.
Yes. So gratifying.
You
And there's
get
people on your team that you don't even know.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because like Tracy helped me, she actually puts people underneath me. Do you know what I mean? And like helps me. And then the same with Alyssa. I put people under her. So there are people that are like below us that we don't even know, that are all kind of helping and then help with our finances that we don't realize. And I was very afraid of MLMs. Very, 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 very afraid and apprehensive of MLMs. And I do not like the MLM lingos. I just don't. We grew up in an age where a lot of people were burned by MLMs. And a lot of people in my generation, when I talk to them about it, they run. Like they hate MLMs.
Mhm.
This company has been so good for me. Like I can't say enough about it. We feel like a family. It's brought us together. There are so many believers. And when I say believers, I mean of Jesus Christ. And so I love that David Schmidt is a Christian. I love that
Yeah.
that he loves the Lord and that he gives a lot of the credit of his inventions to the Lord, which is amazing. I mean, this company's been around 21 years. So I
Mhm.
don't have a lot of the lingo with MLMs, but I am who I am and I love the science. So the science is what sold me. That's what sold Alyssa. That's why we're here. We see what it's done for our families and we see what it's done
Yeah.
for clients. And
Mhm.
that we actually get to benefit from it financially is like a godsend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of word of mouth, right? So that's where, any of these patches could not just sit on the shelf. They kind of need to tell a story. And so that's why it's really powerful. Just like Kaki's saying, whether it's Tracy, same thing was like, I don't want to do anything, or Kaki worrying about being MLM. And all I know is that once you start patching and you start getting results, sleeping, energy, better,
Yeah.
clarity, you start having less joint pain, whatever it is, you just naturally start telling others because you love and care about them, and you just can't help but not tell them. I mean, whether it's our neighbor or, people that you come across, I mean, God's going to bring those people. So we're kind of all like messengers, right? So don't kill the messenger,
Yeah.
but the biggest thing is just, like all of us, being ready to share with everybody and anybody around you, because it could really change your life, whether it's physically or financially. It really is very powerful. It's very, very, I just feel really blessed that, it creates a community of like-minded people and people that care about other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we truly all care about each other. And so I am thankful for that. I am.
Me too.
But yeah, Thursday, if anyone wants to join, it's, I believe, Sherry, at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yep. 6.
And it'll be like, honestly, it'll be 45 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And I think there's 2 or 3 testimonies, and yours is one of them. And that's the power of it, is that, people will get to hear other people, kind of how it's helped them. And it is a personal thing. So I just tell people, you know what, you don't want to order just one patch or one sleeve, because, for me, with my story, it took 4.5 months to get the results I started to want to have. So I hate for people to put so much pressure on this one little patch, to cure all their ailments or whatever they've been doing the last how many years they've been alive, right? So, give the product time it needs to really do the job. So yeah, come out, Stephen, Gina, and I'll be hosting, and you'll be able to, kind of get a feel for the energy they have. They really have a huge heart for people, love the Lord, and have been able to bless and help a lot of people. And it's really, really exciting, and we're excited to have you guys on our team, and we're excited. You guys are just, it's exciting to know so much detail. I mean, I know how the patch works, and I believe it because I use it. But you don't have to be a doctor, and you don't have to know all those details to use it. But it's great to know, how powerful it is and what you have your hands on, right? It's really cool.
It is. It is. Are there any more questions?
Whoever's on the Zoom and whoever invited you, if you have any questions, get back to that person or the group that invited you. If it was on Facebook, then reach out and say, hey, I was on that Zoom today, and each one of us will help you. Whoever is the one that invited you, we will be helping you and getting you
Exactly.
on your journey.
There's a couple
Exactly.
questions about how to find the Zoom for Thursday.
Sherry?
I have sent it out. Tracy probably has a link too, but I can send it again directly to Kaki, so she has it, and then you can plug right into that.
And I'll
Yeah.
post it on the Power Patch group, the
Perfect.
LifeWave Power Patch group.
So Deb,
And
it was Deb, and then I hope I'm saying this right, but is it Risa? And I'm so sorry if I said it incorrectly, but you can message me or whoever invited you, totally okay. And I will get you the link. I'll get you the link for Thursday. Just shoot me a message, or Tracy or Alyssa, any of us. Just shoot us a message. We'll get you.
we'll get you the link.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can one of y'all explain a little bit about the stem cells regeneration?
Yeah, I'm going to actually stop the recording real quick, and then we can, just a moment.